Hello student, this is Sheetal teacher here. Today we are going to continue the next part of the verb. In previous part of the video we have seen what is verb and what is the object of the verb. In this second part we are going to learn about the transitive and intransitive verbs. The meaning of transitive, intransitive verb, example and the difference between transitive and intransitive verb. So let's start with transitive and intransitive verb. So I hope you are comfortable with the concept of object. Okay, so this concept of the object, it will help you to learn about the transitive and intransitive verb. So before you go through this video, you can rewatch the first part of the video verb, and then you can continue with this video. So here in this video we are going to learn about the two types of verb. The first type is transitive verb, transitive, and the second one is a intransitive verb. Now for example, just take an example here. The example is Sunil sold his old car. Okay, Sunil sold his old car. Now in this sentence, Sunil is the noun and the subject of our sentence. Sold is the action word or the verb, and the action is affected by the noun car, so car has become our object. This we have already learned. So Sunil sold his old car. Now let's have a look on an intransitive type of verb. The example is she is swimming. Now if you have a look both sentences, she is swimming, the sentence it has a proper meaning, whereas Sunil sold the old car, it also has a proper meaning. But if you notice in the second sentence, she is swimming, there is no object, right? So we are going to learn about the transitive verb first, and then we'll come to the intransitive verbs. Now see, in this sentence, car is the noun, or car is a noun which is affected by the verb or which is affected by the action, right? So here we can say car has become the object of the verb sold, right? Car has become the object of the verb sold. This we have learned in a last video. So what is object? Basically, objects are the nouns which are affected by the action of the verbs in the sentences. Objects are the nouns which are affected by the action of the verbs in the sentences. Now the same pattern if you try to put in for the second sentence, that she is swimming. So there is no such a object, or after swimming, which is the action word, which is the verb, after swimming there is no such noun which is affected by the action, but still the sentence has a complete meaning, right? So let's take the same example. Sunil sold his old car. Now in this sentence, Sunil, which is a noun and which is the subject of our sentence, right? It's a noun as well as it's a subject of a sentence. Secondly, sold is the action word. Action word means verb. So in this sentence, sold is the verb or the action word. Now suppose we take a look like this, and car is the one more noun or the receiver of the action, means the solding action is received by the car, means the car is affected by the action, so it has become the object of the verb, direct object, in the sense ki what is sold, so car is sold, so we can say it's a object of the sold verb. Now suppose in this sentence the rest part, Sunil sold his old car, that part is not there, the sentence is like only Sunil sold. Does it have a meaning? What do you think? The sentence is complete or incomplete? Definitely it is an incomplete sentence and it does not have any meaning. right? It means what? To fulfill the meaning of the sentence or to fulfill the meaning of the action sold, we need some more words, some more things in the sentence. And that's why we used it as a, and suppose we ask a question to the verb, what did Sunil sold? Now, do we get any answer? No, actually the sentence, it does not have any meaning, and we cannot say it's a complete sentence. And afterwards, suppose you ask the question to the verb, what did Sunil sold, so that we could get the answer, his old car, right? So when this answer will be there, then only the sentence will have a complete meaning, that Sunil sold his old car. Now we can say this is a complete sentence and the action has some meaning. The sold action has some meaning. It means what? Ki in some sentences we need a object. We need a object, and object is what? Object means object may be a noun or a pronoun. So we need some object to fulfill the meaning of the action. So these type of words are called as a transitive verb. What is it? It is called as a transitive verb. So transitive verb means what? The verb which needs the object to receive the action. Again I repeat, the verb which needs an object to complete its meaning in a sentence. Means in the sentence, the verb need any object to show its complete meaning. Otherwise the verb is useless there. There is no use of the verb, there is no meaning, and the sentence will be incomplete. So these type of verbs are called as a transitive verb. What is the first thing we learned about the transitive verb? The transitive verb always needs an object to complete its meaning. Means without object there will not be any transitive verb. Now, secondly, we are going to see the second sentence, that is, she is swimming. Now, in this sentence, she is swimming. Swimming is a verb. Even if is also a verb. In our previous video, we have seen that is also verb. But which type of verb is it? It's a auxiliary primary verb. Means, in short, we can say it's a helping verb. Okay, and swimming is a regular verb. It shows the action of swimming. But in this sentence, there is no such a object. But still, the sentence has a complete meaning. So, in such a case, this type of swimming type of regular verb, I am not saying the helping verb, I am saying the regular verb. Like is the helping verb, whereas swimming is the regular verb. So in such a sentences, regular verb has its complete meaning, and this type of verbs are called as an intransitive verb. It means what? The verb which won't need any type of object to complete its meaning in the sentence. These type of verbs are called as an intransitive verb. What is intransitive verb? Intransitive verb is a verb which does not need an object to complete its meaning in a sentence. Got this thing? In first sentence, to complete the meaning of sold, we need the object car. But in the same here in this sentence, to complete the meaning of swimming, we don't want any type of object. That's why swimming has become here a intransitive type of verb, and in that sentence sold has become the transitive type of verb. So the basic difference now we came to know, that in transitive verb the verb always needs object, whereas in transitive type of verb does not need any object. Now see, transitive verb are action verbs. See the sentence, action verbs, not the helping verb. We have not mentioned here as a helping verb. Helping verb means to be, to do, to have, not like that. Means am, is, are, was, were, have, had, not like that. That type of auxiliary verbs or the modals means the helping verb don't consider in your mind. Here we are talking about the regular verb, action verb, means which actually shows some action. Okay, so transitive verbs are action verbs that have an object to receive that action. Means whatever the action done by that verb, there should be some object to receive the action. See the example, I bake some cookies. Okay, bake is the action. What do you bake? Cookies. I ride the bicycle, right? What did you ride? Bicycle. I move the chair. Okay, what does you move? Chair. So here in these sentences, cookies, bicycle, chair, these are the transitive type of verbs. In compared to transitive type, intransitive type of verbs are action verbs. Again remember, not helping verb or auxiliaries. Again action verbs, but unlike transitive verbs, they do not have an object to receive the action. Means they won't need any object to receive the action. For example, I laugh. Just laugh. Laugh is a verb here. Now, to fulfill the meaning of laugh, we need not to have any other object. I cry. The sentence has a complete meaning and it shows one action, cry. The book falls. So, in such type of sentences, laugh, cry, falls, these are the intransitive type of verbs. I hope you understood the difference between transitive and intransitive type of verb. The simple and the basic thing you should keep in your mind, that transitive verbs needs an object, whereas intransitive verbs does not need an object. Now see, in transitive verb need an object and intransitive verb cannot have an object. The example is given here, I am looking for my keys. Now looking for, basically looking for is a phrase, right? Looking for is a phrase. So here looking for this action, the effect of this action, it is on keys. So keys has become the object and looking for it has become a transitive type of phrasal verb. It is a phrase basically, so we can call it as a phrasal verb. Whereas in the second sentence, my car broke down this morning, right? My car broke down this morning. So what is shown in this sentence? This morning means they are showing you the time, but they are not showing you something which is affected by the broken down action. So broke down, it's a phrase basically, and here the phrase, it has come as a intransitive type of phrasal verb. Clear? You look for something and that is object. What are looking for? My keys. Like what are you looking for? For my keys. So my keys has become the object. Now see, you cannot just say I am looking for. So if you say I am looking for, the sentence will be incomplete sentence. Whereas in the second part, that is intransitive, we cannot have an object after an intransitive phrasal verb. Like in this case, the phrasal verb is broke down. You cannot broke down something, right? See, now you need a direct object when using a transitive phrasal verb, whereas in intransitive verb, the example is given, I grew up in New Zealand. Okay, there is no such a relation, or the action of this grew up, it does not have any effect on New Zealand, which is the noun, right? But the particular action word or the particular phrasal action or particular phrasal verb, it does not have any type of effect on the New Zealand. So it has become an intransitive type of verb. See, verb that are transitive and intransitive also. Like in some cases, it might happen that the same verb you can use as a transitive verb also and intransitive verb also, right? But you can recognize it by the meaning of the sentence, the action of the verb, or according to the object. See the example here. I stopped the car. Now in this sentence, what did you stop? The car. The action of stopping is actually affected on the car, right? So that's why here stopped has become the transitive type of verb, because whatever the action the verb stop is doing, it is getting affected on the car. So car has become our object, and for that stopped has become our transitive type of verb. In second sentence, the car stopped, right? The car. Now the car, it has become the noun, it has become the subject of our sentence. The car stopped, right? The sentence has a meaning, it's a meaningful sentence, and stopped shows us the action of the stopping car, right? But here, whereas in the previous sentence what was given, I stopped the car. In the second sentence, the car stopped. So the sentence has a complete meaning. Stop shows us the stopping the stop action, but the action, it is not affected on anything, right? So in such a case, stopped has become our intransitive type of verb, where we don't have any object, right? So it might possible that the same verb we can use as a transitive also and intransitive also, but it will differ according to the construction of sentence, or we can say according to the meaning of sentence. So before you think about the transitive or intransitive verb, think about the meaning and the object of the sentence, and then only you can decide transitive type of verb or intransitive type of verb, right? Nextly, sometimes the meaning of verb changes depending on whether that verb is transitive or intransitive, especially with the phrasal verbs. Means it might possible that sometimes the meaning of the verb changes according to the meaning of a transitive or intransitive, and most probably these type of possibilities we have in phrasal type of verb. Phrasal in the sense wherever we can use the phrase. In such cases, it is possible the meaning of the same action word, the meaning of the verb can be changed. First example, he runs a small grocery store. He runs a small grocery store. It does not mean that actually the grocery store, it is not running, but means he runs it, right? He runs a small grocery store means वो चलाते हैं. वो चलाते हैं मतलब it's his business. Actually the grocery store is not running like we are running, or like our bicycle can run, right? So here the meaning of runs, what is it? Here we can take runs as a manage. He managed a small grocery store, right? Now just have a look on the second sentence. He runs along the beach every morning. Read the sentence properly again. He runs along the beach every morning. What is the meaning of this sentence? That every morning he runs along the beach. Beach के side से, beach के बाजू से वो हर morning में run लेता है, morning walk लेता है, right? So here the meaning of run is the sport. It's a activity, the action, everyday action done by him. Okay, so in such a case, run has become the intransitive type of verb. Now we will see according to our concept. He runs along the beach every morning. Now in this sentence, runs, does it need any type of object to complete the meaning? Even though along the beach every morning, even though these words will not be there if the sentence is like that, he runs. Okay, so also it have a meaning. In the second sentence, he runs a small grocery shop. So first we have to find out the object, and accordingly you can say, you can differ the meaning of the same verb. Now we can see, just have a look on this example. The example is, the dog is hungry. The dog is hungry. Now in this sentence, the dog is the subject, is our helping verb, hungry is our regular verb, right? Now verb, this type of sentences we have already seen in a intransitive type of verb. According to our knowledge, according to our discussion, at least we came to know that here hungry is a intransitive type of verb. Now these type of intransitive verbs, right, which is some type of nouns. It might be a abstract noun, it might be a material noun, whatever it is, but generally it is a some type of noun. Now here hungry is abstract noun, so hungry is here the intransitive type of verb. And in such cases, like in such type of intransitive verb, we can call them verb of incomplete prediction, right? Means verb which need a word or a group of words to complete their meaning is called verbs of incomplete prediction. What does it call? It is called as a verb of incomplete prediction. And this type of words are always comes under the intransitive type of verb. Listen student, these are very new concept for you, but still you have to listen the video twice, thrice, as many time as you can, and make sure that your concepts are clear so that it will be easy for you for the next classes. Okay, what I am saying here, hungry is basically intransitive type of verb, and for hungry also we can say the verb of incomplete prediction. Why? Because it does not need any object. So the verb which need a word or a group to complete their meaning are called a verb of incomplete prediction. Now the verb of incomplete prediction means what? Again the dog is hungry. Now hungry is the action word, verb. The word hungry, is it an object here? No, it is not an object. The hungry itself is a noun, but as we have seen, she is swimming. Swimming was the action word, verb. Here hungry is the action word? No, it's one noun. So hungry is not an object, but without the word, the sentence will be incomplete sentence. The dog is, right? There should be something. The dog is swimming, the dog is walking, the dog is running, the dog is hungry. So as I told, swimming, running, these are action words, but here hungry is one type of noun, right? So without that particular word, the sentence will not be complete. So they are called as a, so these type of words are called as complement. What does it call? Complement. So a complement is a noun, adjective, adverb, right? This hungry type of word, it can be a noun, it can be adjective, it can be adverb, which is used with a verb, okay, which is used with a verb of incomplete prediction to make its meaning complete. सेंटेंस को पूरा मीनिंग देने के लिए these types of word you can use with the verb. For example, here we don't have any regular verb, we have a helping verb. With the helping verb hungry is there, right? So hungry, it has become the complement of the sentence or complement of the verb. Clear? So again I am telling you, these are some new concepts for you. Verb with incomplete predictions and complement type of verbs. So again go through the video twice, and in your book also they have given some interesting example. For example, the postman rang the bell. The postman rang the bell. Postman ने bell बजाई. So in such case rang has become a transitive type of verb. Whereas in the second sentence they have given the bell rang loudly. जोर से बेल बजी. Right? So in such a case it has become a intransitive type of verb. Right? So in that way, loudly, which is the adjective, it has become the complement of the verb rang. Are you getting me? Loudly, it is not the object of the verb. It has become the complement of the verb in intransitive type of verb. I hope you understand it. For better understanding, refer your book and refer the video again and again. Okay? So go through the video once or twice again, so that in next video we can solve the exercises given below, and along with that we will see the next part. One small part of the lesson is remaining, that is finite and non-finite verb, that we will continue in the next video. Okay, thank you so much.